The person who displays themselves to be pious, right? I'm going to hit close to home here. The person who puts on the religious clothing and then instantly makes a TikTok account and then goes on there and tries to talk about religion without knowledge, what kind of damage can they cause? I'll tell you a story. There was a woman who came to me who was married, technically is married, okay? And she's married to a convert, a person who accepted Islam. Okay, mashallah, they got married, loved each other. This woman met another woman, and this other woman, okay, woman number 2, was the type of person that donned the garb of religion, right? Looked very religious, spoke very religious. The ains were aining, the qafs were qafing, right? Kha was perfect, everything was great. The makharij was, okay? And this woman somehow, some way found out that woman number 1's husband, this brand new Muslim, like really new, was struggling to pray his 5 daily prayers. It came up in conversation. So then woman number 2 says, oh, I think your marriage is null and void now. Get ready for this roller coaster, all right? Buckle up. I think your marriage is null and void. Woman number 1 goes, really? She goes, yeah, because there's a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ says that the difference between a believer and a kafir is prayer. And if your husband doesn't pray, that means he's a kafir. And you're a Muslim woman, so you can't be married to a kafir. So your kafir means non-believer and or a rejecter. So your marriage is null and void. It's done. Woman number 1 goes, oh my God, I don't want to do something wrong. What should I do? Woman number 2 says, move out. You have to leave him. Woman number 1 goes, tells her husband. He has no idea what's going on. And he's just like shocked. Woman number 1 thinks she's doing the right thing. Someone online told me that making good decisions is tough. This is tough. Woman number 2 says, you're pleasing Allah. Woman number 1 leaves. 2, 3, 4 weeks later, guess where she's sitting? Right here talking to me in Roots. And guess what I tell her? Never talk to woman number 2 ever again, please. No, seriously. Because it's one thing to not know something. That's fine. But it's totally different to go out there and cosplay like you know something and then effectively damage and put people into counseling for months. Imagine if they had kids. Imagine if there was more at stake. Imagine, I mean, there was a lot of damage done, don't get me wrong, but we were able to fix it. But imagine these stories, they're not made up. I'm not making this up. This is a real story that happens often. And it's one example about what happens when a person doesn't respect the importance of learning their faith properly. Intention, enthusiasm, and energy are not enough. It's like all of us have had friends that were sick, right? Have you guys ever had a friend that got injured? Have you ever had a friend that needed surgery? Yes or no? Yes? Do you love that person? Are you energetic about their health? Are you enthusiastic that they get better? Yes. Did you do their surgery? No. And if you did, if you went to them and said, hey, went to your best friend, you're like, I love you so much. I want you to get better. Come over to my house tomorrow, 8 a.m. I got the new knives. The friend is going to be like, what are you talking about? Your lack of requisite knowledge is not compensated for by your enthusiasm. You understand? Your enthusiasm does not fill the gap of ignorance. So when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَرْفَعِ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ وَالَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْعِلْمَ دَرَجَاتٍ. Allah raises the rank of those who believe. Yes, if you believe, you do have a raised rank. But even further are those who believe and have knowledge of this religion. They have knowledge of this religion. This hadith, at its base level, is so important because it engages with the character trait of humility, of knowing when to say something, what to say, how to say it, and if you should even be the one to share it. There comes a point in time where every good person, every good Muslim, every person who's studying the religion has to become very comfortable with the phrase, I don't know. La adri. I don't know. Some of the greatest scholars in our history, they said, nisful ilm, half of knowledge is la adri, saying I don't know. The very famous story that you read about in all the books on seeking knowledge. There's manuals, by the way, how to seek knowledge. There's books on how to read books. And the scholars said that one of the most famous stories is that of Imam Malik. Imam Malik, very legendary for his knowledge. And a person traveled and asked him questions. Some books say they asked him 100 questions. Right? So think of the Q&A like line here after 30 and up, times 100. 100 questions. And they said for 99 of them, he said, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. So then at the end of it, the guy got frustrated and he said, you are Imam Malik. Like, I traveled all this way to come and ask you these questions. People told me that you would know the answer. And then look at how shaitan plays with people. You ready? Shaitan put these words on the tongue of this man. The man said, what will people say when I go back to them and I tell them that I traveled all the way from Maghrib, sorry to Moroccan, traveled all the way from Morocco to Medina, because he lived in Medina, and then I come back and they say, what did Imam Malik say? And I tell them, he didn't know. You see how he's messing with his ego. What will people say? Lo kya kahenge, right? What will people say? Imam Malik got up. This is an intense response, but be with me here, right? He got up and screamed at the guy. He says, قُلْ لَهُمْ Malik la yadri. Says, tell them Malik doesn't know. Tell them Malik doesn't know anything. So then the guy felt sorry. And then Imam Malik felt sorry. So then he said, give me a day. Let me go sleep on it. Come back tomorrow. So then the guy said, okay, thank you. Imam Malik went home. The guy spent the night. They met the next day. Imam Malik said, okay, I thought about your questions. And the guy's really excited. And he goes, I thought about them and I still don't know. And Imam Malik, and the guy says to him, he says, هذا شيء خفيف من العلم. He says, the questions I've asked you are light in knowledge. And Imam Malik started crying, started weeping. And he says, there's nothing light in knowledge. Did you not hear the words of Allah? إِنَّا سَنُلْقِي عَلَيْكَ قَوْلًا ثَقِيلًا. Allah said in the Quran, we have revealed upon you a speech that is heavy. So there's nothing light in knowledge. So this topic of knowing your faith is not like a flimsy topic. It's not like potpourri. It's not like, this is the real deal. In order to be the person that you want to be, you have to learn. You have to engage with the Quran and the Hadith. In order to become the better version of yourself, you have to be learning. Lifelong learners. We're always students. We're always students. We ask Allah Ta'ala to make us those who seek knowledge. We ask Allah Ta'ala to give us the ability to always engage in learning more about our faith, and that the more we learn, the better that we become, and that the more that we learn, the closer that we get to Him and the practice of His beloved Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam.